It's 5 a.m. at Riganelli's Bakery in Thorold, Ontario. Owner and operator Nick Delomo is supervising the mixing of a special 300 kilogram dough. It's a special dough not because of its weight, but because it's the last one to be mixed at Riganelli's Bakery. After 22 years of owning and operating the bakery, Nick is retiring and selling it. But Riganelli's Bakery is older than 22 years. It's been in continuous operation for just over 63 years. In 1949, my grandfather, Francesco Riganelli, immigrated to Canada from Italy with his family. In 1957, after working on a farm for several years, his 4 sons, Mario, Nick, Nano, and my father, Gino, purchased the then Thorold Bakery, renaming it Riganelli Brothers Bakery.
We didn't go around begging, we create our own job. That's what most Italians did when they came to Canada. It wasn't easy today to find a job, you know. Today they think it's tough. Today you got assistance. Those days was no assistance. If you, like they say, if you work you eat, if you don't work you, in Italia si diceva sbadigli gli anni. My father, my brother, they were working on the farm. Eventually, the older brother, Mario, started to deliver bread for another bakery in Toro. Then, little by little, we all get involved in delivering bread, buying bread and delivery. Eventually, we come up to the occasion of the bakery for sale, and we buy that. And that's where it all started, with the bread. At the beginning, I was working almost 24 hours a day, around the clock. Those days were long hours. So I remember sometimes Friday night we work inside, sleep a couple of hours in the truck, and then go deliver in the morning. That's how the immigrants were doing those days.
3 years after establishing the bakery, a fire erupted. Newspaper accounts state, roaring flames and dense clouds of smoke poured from the roof, and that it took 20 local firefighters more than 2.5 hours to contain the blaze. Fire officials believe it started in the wood-burning oven.
Fire was a big. We had insurance, but that didn't even cover half of it, because we had just buy some. All the trucks, there were new trucks that they were loaded inside. They got burned, everything. All the bread was ready to go in the morning. It was all gone, and it lost everything. Had to start from scratch all over. So then we had to make a loan to the bank, and our brother-in-law Joe gave us a loan very generous. So he didn't charge any interest. It only I don't know if it was 1%, because it was by law you have to. Otherwise, he was very good to us. Next to us was a building that they were building aluminum window. They were selling. They were moving away from it. And he had make an offer to us before that. We were thinking about. It was honest enough. They kept the price that he suggested, and eventually decided to get that one, and we expanded that side.
With the new addition came much needed office space, a driver's room so that orders and routes could be better organized. There was an area for packing and wrapping of bread. Also a lunchroom with changing and washroom facilities for the employees. After the bakery was rebuilt and expanded, there was still a problem with production. The flour used at the time meant that the dough had to rest before you could work with it.
Before you had to mix rice wait the rice for maybe an hour or so, push it down, wait another hour or so to come up, and then start making the bread, and then pour in a proof to rice. It was a long process. Then later came up with a different type of flour, and you could mix and work right away without waiting, and then make the bread, pour in the steam to rice, and go in the oven.
With the introduction of the new flour and its time savings, the problem now was the lack of machinery.
We had, at one point, we had about some 20 ladies were making bread around the table, by hand, all by hand. I remember some of the experts from where we buy the flour, Robin Hood, they came down one day to give us suggestions. I remember them telling us, "You don't have a baker here, you got a opera house." Because all the lady was singing away and making bread, and said, "You better get some equipment, otherwise you're not gonna make it." We went, me and Mario went up to Sherbrooke, close to Montreal, and we buy an overhead proof, mixer, new mixer. Oh, and the big oven, yes, the big oven. That was, how many shelves? 22 shelves. That was a big oven. That was a big change.
With the reopening of the bakery, delivery routes grew, including house to house.
The time was especially a lot of Italian immigrants, they looked for Italian bread. And we used house to house, yeah. Then eventually we cut down the house and went to just the store.
Not only stores, but restaurants and hotels. Their delivery routes covered most of the Niagara region. Nick's route covered Niagara Falls, supplying the busy tourist areas. Nano's route served mainly the St. Catharines area, but in the busy summer season, he delivered as far as Crystal Beach. Other routes covered the Welland and Port Colborne area.
Well, we changed when he used to go to Welland, Crystal Beach. When I started delivering too, I moved around a lot different area. I done some in Welland, I done some St. Catharines, Niagara Falls, Buffalo. We used to go from downtown Buffalo all the way up to the airport. But I don't know how many we had, but it was a lot of miles. You got to know this guy from the States. And he was looking for Italian bread down there. People were crazy for Italian bread, but was nobody making it.
Where was this?
Connecticut. And discussing, made a proposal, suggestion, and eventually we went pack in box to the airport in Buffalo and to Connecticut. So our bread went as far as Connecticut. Came to a point we had about almost 10 trucks, 8 or 10 anyway. At one point, the most of the 30, 35 people, if not 40, between the driver and the people inside, the ice point people.
With the growing fleet of trucks on the road, the risks of accidents also increased.
Me, Neno, and Mario, we're going early in the morning. They left. We usually live together. I was still a little behind. They left. I said, okay, we'll come up behind. I was a little late, rainy morning, through, what the hell was the road called? Canal Road, I think it was called. It was a kind of bend, a little too fast. Just slide away, I hit the curb when the truck turned over. When the police came, I had to come up from the top. I didn't get hurt, lucky. I wasn't going fast, so that's why I would end up in the canal if I was fast. Well, that's where you used to get the flour from Robin Hood. Through them, we built a flour tank. That they were the first small size tank ever made in Canada. For any, they used to have they had a big tank for flour for big like Christie Bread, those big companies. But the size that we had, the first time they made it for us. And to pour it down, I had to remove the roof of the room where they poured it with big crane, lift it up, pour it down, and eventually put the roof back. And those are still there now. You come with a big transport truck, like they are tanks, but it was made for flour. And then they push inside the tank by air compression. You empty one completely, clean it up, and then start the other one. And then I had to go inside to clean the tank. I used to have a rope ladder. You have to go from the top, drop the ladder inside, and go inside. When the pastry man left, the other Albino used to be the bakery, the pastry man. He retired, yeah. When he left, I had to start to do the pastry. Start decorating cakes, wedding cakes. I was watching how he was doing a lot when he was doing it. And eventually, I pick up some of the thread.
In 1989, after 32 years, the oldest brother, Mario Riganelli, decided to retire. After several more years, due to health reasons, the three remaining brothers realized they could no longer continue to manage the bakery.
Was left me and Neno. Neno had to go for an operation. I had to go for some tests too, for an operation too. And Nicky was already out. Now, health-wise not that good. We had to make a decision to get out. And then we got Paul involved, tried to sell. And I think he approached Nick, yeah. And that's how it came about.
With the help from their nephew, Paul Riganelli, the brothers found a buyer. On November 30th, 1999, Riganelli's bakery changed hands, and Nick DeLomo became the new owner.
Thorold presents Christmas at Riganelli's Bakery as you snuggle in bed, visions dance in your head. Visions of French pastries, tea fancies, Torroni, panettone, Italian nougat candy, holiday cake, and Christmas fruit cake. An old-fashioned family holiday. That's Christmas joy from Riganelli's Bakery, downtown Thorold. Make us the center of your world.
just started grade 6 at A.T. Clancy. I was 11 years old, working after school. My brother Mario was there already, and my sister Anna was there at the time. So Mario, pretty much, he was the first one in back then. 1984, I was hired by General Motors, so I had to leave the bakery. Then in 1989, 5 years later, I started delivering for the bakery over the river because they discontinued their delivery service, so I took it on.
The term over the river was used when referring to deliveries to the United States, more specifically, restaurants in the North Tonawanda and Niagara Falls, New York area.
Oh, that wasn't too bad. It was just 1 day a week, and up to sometimes it was 2 days a week, but it didn't affect me working at General Motors. It was I was actually at the Riganelli picnic, and Paul brought it to my attention, Paul Riganelli, and he says they're willing to sell, and it got to the point where you wanted to retire, but there was no buyers, and if there was no buyers, they were going to close the business. And I felt that I knew the business, so I figured I can do well with it. I knew how to run on the production part of it, not so much the management part, but it was a challenge at the start, but I did take it on. I was working still at GM, and I was there for 15 years. So I didn't want to give up General Motors. I was too deep in General Motors for 15 years to give that up. So I did both for another 15 years. 1 o'clock in the morning, every day, 7 days a week. Get there and I'd turn the ovens on, and I'd turn the proofer on, start taking all our stuff, because we made stuff a day ahead. So we would have to take everything out of the walk-in coolers and put them in the proofers and get them ready. Then the staff would start coming in at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. The girls would come in and start packing. So we had fresh buns and bread going out the door by 7 a.m. every morning. That was tough, especially on shift work. Working afternoons at General Motors, going home for about an hour and a half, then going to the bakery, opening up the bakery and getting that production going for the day. Then I would finish in the morning, go have a nap, and again start all over. Get up after lunch and go back to work at General Motors. Everybody knows there's a lot of work involved, and early hours. They don't see you at 1 o'clock in the morning. They see you in the afternoon. Figure, oh yeah, he's got the whole day to himself. But like I say, it's a long day. It's stressful.
When Nick purchased Riganelli's bakery, it was with the understanding that his sister Anna, a longtime employee of the bakery, would help with the daily running of it.
It was getting to the point where Anna was there, like she was there all the time, and she's stubborn as she was, that she just spent all her time there. And it was getting too much for her, with her hip and all that. And if I got her to stay away, then I would have to do more, and I didn't want to do any more. So it got to the point where I said, okay, maybe I should sell, and that's what happened. It was a good offer, and I took it.
With all the shopping and preparations for Christmas, who has time to do any baking? That's what Riganelli's Bakery is here for. Riganelli's will come to your rescue with a festive assortment of tantalizing treats, including traditional favorites like panettone cake, Thorold Ont nougat, plus Yule logs, pies, pastries, and bread baked daily. Riganelli's also has excellent gift ideas for any last-minute shoppers, so drop by. Riganelli's Bakery at 16 Ormond Street in Thorold.
I started working there in 1969. I lived right there, the house, upstairs, right? So I used to go in at 9 o'clock when the kids were gone to school. and finish around 3:30 when the kids were back home. I packed buns. I worked in the store serving customers, answering the phone, taking orders, all kinds of jobs, whatever. We used to make everything from scratch in the pastry room, like when it came to pies. Our Empire cookies were so famous, you know, the pies and everything.
What was it like at the beginning? You guys lived right next door to the bakery.
That was a big burden. Yeah. Like I said, I used to have a time when I used to go home and that's it. But for Nana was kind of hard being there, right there. Usually was there 7 days a week, you know. In the morning, you had to open up the store, set the alarm off, you know, all those things, yeah. I remember on Friday nights, they had long days, you know, because they used to do the bread all by hand. Like, they didn't have all the machines that they had lately. Yeah. So sometimes they used to finish around 10, midnight. He was always out on delivery, Nano. In the morning he was there. Once he loaded up his truck, he went. And I didn't see him till he came back at night. First he would do the St. Catharines route, load up, and then he'd get back about 4 o'clock, 4:30, load up again, and go to Crystal Beach, deliver around that area.
It's a long day.
Long day. He'd get home about 7:30, 8 o'clock. That was just though in the summertime. It wasn't like every day, every week. He wasn't one to complain a lot. Maybe I did more complain than he did, but you know what? One thing though, he loved what he was doing. He liked it. He was happy.
How did you feel when they sold it? When they sold it to Nick? They're finally retiring.
How did I feel? I don't know. It wasn't a happy feeling, but what are you gonna do? Everything comes to an end. We couldn't do it anymore, so you had to decide. You know, nobody wanted to carry on, and that's it. Now that it's gone, sometimes I go by there. It's an empty field, and you know. And our pizzas. New Year's Eve, I remember when New Year's Eve we had 120 pizzas. Everybody used to have house parties. Yeah, you know what? It's so sad now. I had to, when the bakery closed, I had to buy bread the first time. I was almost crying when I walked out of the store. I never bought bread in my whole life. Loaf of bread, $4.25. Yeah, it was so hard. It just, you know.
Make us the center of your Christmas shopping world.
Downtown Thorold presents Riganelli's Bakery. Along with traditional treats for Christmas, Riganelli's Bakery has a special surprise for you. Beautiful Christmas gift treasures, elegant trays, fine porcelains, and sparkling copper pieces for the loved ones on your Christmas list. Riganelli's Bakery and more in downtown Thorold.
Make us the center of your world.
week after Riganelli's bakery closed, family and friends gathered to reminisce and say goodbye to the bakery one last time. So Joni, tell me something about working at the bakery.
Oh, I told everybody the story. Because we lived right here next to the bakery, when we came home, we came in the front door of the store, we came down the back, we had a donut as they were coming off the hot press, the honey dip donuts, and we went down the hall, went to the back door, and when we reached down here, the fancy rolls were ready. We used to grab a fancy roll, pull out the middle, have that, and then go inside the house. Those were good memories.
Claude, give me a memory of working at the bakery.
Oh my God, my blood, sweat, and tears went into this place. Still reminiscing. I think I still got some of that money saved, along with my communion money.
I was talking to your dad. We were going through years. 1965, he was talking about, we picked up the Cooper. We went to Sherbrooke, it was then. So for me, all these names are coming back. I see Riganelli and Asperia. They're in Toronto. I can remember. I think they were on St. Regis Street. So anyways, it's a lot of memories I've got back here.
Child labor. 23 hours work, $50.
What year?
1979. I had a Trans Am then. I had to pay for insurance and gas. How am I going to live on that? Oh my God. And Slurpees. Yeah, my dad's stuff. Oh wow. 950, 354, 50.
There's stuff in there from your grandfather.
Oh my God.
Give me a memory at Riganelli's bakery here.
So as I look on this space here, it brings back fond memories of me making about 150 pizza New Year's Eve and cutting them all by hand with one of those little scrapes that used to kill my hand. Here it is here, that's right. Technique. Yeah, anyways.
Good.
Good memories.
When did you start here?
1974.
How old were you then?
18.
What was your job then?
Oh, a little bit of everything, slicing bread, packing buns.
You used to take the orders from Nano and Nick too, right?
Yeah.
What was that like?
A little bit tough, but trying to figure out what they needed in that.
So you take the orders when they get back for the next day, basically?
Yeah.
How many years has that been you've been working?
47.
Stretch. You gotta be one of the longest persons then.
Yeah, pretty well.
You got all your family work here.
Yeah, my brother's my sister.
Lisa, you worked at the bakery a short time. Give me a quick little reminisce of something.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I worked here when I was going to teachers college, and I worked with Nano, which was the best. I got to work with my father-in-law, and I got to pack buns and pack his van and stuff like that. It was the best. I loved it. It was awesome. Yeah, awesome.
Hey guys, quick toast. So, salute to, since 1957, I guess we started this, yeah? 57. It's been a long time. These guys came from Italy and started this business up. They supported 4 families, did a great job doing it. God bless them. And then since then, Nick took over in 99, I believe. So 21, 22 years. So it's a total of 63 years, I believe, this place has been around. So salute to the bakery. It's been a great legacy. We've all got some great stories here. It's been a great ride. So, cheers.
The party continued well into the night. What was it like in here? Where was everything?
Well, I mean, it's nothing to say now. Everything is gone. This oven was much bigger than that. It was at least 3 times as long. The original oven, it's about here. The original was this long. It was traveling. It was shallow travel. Sometimes break had to go in the back inside. A lot of work, a lot of. Was a donuts maker, fryer over here. Over here was the steamer was over here. That's the control over here. That's the original control. Pretty hot. I fell from the roof of a cabin of the steamer over here. That was a big one. Tried to fix something, I came in from the roof. Used to have an overhead roof over here, the mixer over here, big mixer. Big mix. Used to mix about 300-400 pounds of flour at a time. You know, at the time we used to have a lot of school kids to look how the bread was made, how it worked. I used to have almost every month there was some couple school used to come in. The kids. Oh, here. Big flour tank. This tank was the first tank built in Canada, this small size like this, for this place, our place. To put it in, I had to remove the roof with the crane, put it down. Then from here, automatically, it was a scale here. The flour going to scale. From the scale, was going through on the other, through here. Was going on the mixer. That's all the electrical plant. This was a generator booster because we needed more power than what was coming in. Well, for the operation side that we needed a lot more power than what was coming in. This was a generation, a booster the power.
Generator.
Yeah. Oh, the flour coming through the pipe, like a bigger pipe, was blow it in from where it comes all the way inside the tank. Yeah, this was the pipe that comes in, pipe like this. It come in from the front, was blown in. Big transport to the tank. Something like the gasoline tanker, but it was for flour. It was divided in about 4 sections. You open one at a time and blow it in. Then this original didn't have this. Eventually put them in, like get the people to put them in, because before you have to go on top to clean it inside with a rope. I don't think it's gone. Rope ladder, we have to put it inside. You go inside when once in a while I have to clean completely. But then instead of doing that, eventually I put that in. And when the flour get down to the bottom here, open this up and so clean it up good from here. Didn't have to go on top anymore. That was that was terrible to try to work, go inside. Yeah, that's all it. This is where we had the trucks. Time we had, I don't know how many we had. Sometime we had 4 or 5. Back this way, load it up. And you want to see what see, this was the power for to connect to the blower for the flour, the truck. And it's gone now. The truck is connected to the power from there, and it blow the flour all the way from here, all the way back. Okay. This used to be the store. Counter over here. Cooler, whatever. All the shelf on this side. This was the counter here. Over here you see some shelf for bread. Moms. You sell there's some other stuff over there. Some grocery, small things of grocery too. Originally here was oven, what the hell was the name? A wood oven, originally.
A wood oven?
When we got it, when we buy it, it was a wood oven. They eventually put the oil. It became an oil, and then changed to gas. Then later on, Nicky changed to a different, smaller oven. But the original in here was that's where we got the fire. They burned the whole thing down. 2 or 3 months, a couple of months later, then we went to Montreal to make the deal to put the proof.
Oh, yeah, for this reduction.
Yeah.
For what?
For when we change and start to get some equipment, it was a couple months before you were born. We went to Montreal and we got the overhead proof, fence roll machine.
The big oven, maybe?
The tank, the flour tank. I don't know. That's where we several machines got it. It was a good expense of that time.
Back then, yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know, for something like $25,000. I don't remember exactly, but it was big money then. Especially when you don't have it.
On January 31st, 2022, Nick DeLomo walked out the front door of the bakery for the last time. This empty lot is where my family's bakery once stood. They're going to build residential housing here now. I started this project because I wanted to let people know that a bakery at one time stood here, that supported 4 families, employed many people over the years, and served this community. Since I started working on this project, my father Gino and my good friend Nick DeLomo have both passed away. My father was the youngest of the 4 brothers who started Riganelli's Bakery. And I first met Nick when we were both kids working here during the summers. He became a lifelong friend. Unfortunately, neither my father Gino nor Nick saw the finished documentary. So I'd like to dedicate it to the 4 Riganelli brothers and to Nick DeLomo. So we did a lot of growing up around here. This is where the bakery was. Right here is where I broke my arm. I was jumping ramps on a bike with my cousin Peter, who's behind the camera right now, and I took off here and landed down there and I broke my arm, and my father had to bring me to the emergency instead of go delivering that day. But myself and my cousins did a lot of growing up here. We spent our youth working at the bakery, working summers here. This is where it all happened. And I like to think we developed a good work ethic working here. It was, at the time it didn't seem like fun, it was a lot of hard work, but now when you look back at it, it was like the best of times.